Hello everyone, how you doing? Stomp Our Gamer again today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. How many times do I have to say that? Please guys, I need the likes and the comments and the subscriptions. We're going to take a look at the Drake Caterpillar today in patch 3.10 with some of its quality of life improvements and to see how she flies in the new patch. We've looked at we've pretty much looked at a lot of the ships at this point. I'm going to be redoing all the ships in 3.10 and taking a look at them, but I figured we would do the Caterpillar since it's had some actual changes on top of the flight model changes. And that being said, we looked at the Carrack last, and the Carrack actually did pretty darn well. Some people may disagree. In fact, I got 2 down likes because I said I thought it was flying pretty good, but I don't think people really appreciate just how poorly it was flying in 3.10. And now, yes, it handles like a large, big, heavy ship, but it's definitely flyable. But now we're going to compare it with the Drake Caterpillar, which, like I said, got some quality of life improvements as far as its pilot-controlled firepower. So we'll go ahead and boot this up. And real quick, you'll notice the 0 UEC bug going on right now. That's a fun one. Apparently if you log out and then select like a different region, log in, then log out, then go back to best, it fixes it. I can't be bothered with it right now. So let's take a look at what you got on the Drake Caterpillar now. Before is 4 gimbaled size 1s. Now, let's see. So you can have 2 size 3s it looks like now on the top. And then I think you still have the gimbaled size 2s. Okay, so yeah, you've got a little bit more firepower now. So we'll play around with that once we get up in here. Let's request our takeoff. And again, you know, we've already done a video on the Caterpillar, so we're well familiar with the layout. You got the control yoke, the rudder pedals. It's a twist-pull control for steering. So you know, there's your roll, yaw. So it's kind of neat. It's a very simplistic kind of control scheme, which fits with Drake. We're taking off of Lorville, so we'll be in atmosphere, in probably the worst possible scenario for launching a large ship in 3.10. We're going to do a video on the Reclaimer the other day, but servers were not being cooperative, so we did not end up doing that. Alright, it looks like that hangar's fully open, or close to. So she's having a hard time lifting off. I'm having to use some boost. And then she decides to do this on me. And the hangars are closing again. They never fully opened, and then they're closing. So, we'll come on back down. And we'll re-request takeoff.
You are clear to launch.
They really need to change it so that the hangar doors don't close until you exit your freaking hangar. And I've also had it where you request landing, you fly through the little things, you come to your hangar, and it never opens. So you're just unable to land. Alright, so there's launch with a little afterburner. There's our highway in the sky, which probably isn't ours anymore. Alright, up we go. Just using a little bit of boost just to get through the doors so that they don't close on us.
Landing gear up.
And we'll see if this is our corridor.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Yeah, taking off from Lorville is a experience. And so far it's not bad. I'm having to, you know, pitch up a little bit to keep the flight path vector on target. And we're out of our little spline. So we'll go ahead and accelerate. We'll do our atmospheric testing while we're here in Lorville. Gotta admit, the Caterpillar's a pretty neat looking ship, and I cannot wait till you can detach this command module. Especially now, since it's got, what is it, 2 gimbaled size 3s and 2 gimbaled size 2s. It might actually be one heck of a little fighter. Alright, we'll get up to, we're at about 3,000. That should be about enough now, so we'll go ahead and accelerate as much as this old girl can. So it looks to be about 140 max at about 3,200. So again, the lower you go, the less your speed. The higher you go, the more speed you're able to get right now with the current flight model. SCM in atmosphere is going to be ridiculously slow. 86. Alright. Now, we did a roll test in the Carrack. We've done it in the Starfarer. Let's see how this thing rolls. Much better than the Carrack. You actually have roll. Again, you're losing some altitude, but it is not anywhere near as bad. And again, we do know that Drake has fixed maneuvering thrusters rather than gibbled, so it gives you actually a little bit better performance, so that kind of makes sense. Alright, and you've got, if you look on the bottom here, make it all along the bottom, you can just make out all those thrusters holding the ship up. It's got a lot of thrusters helping. Alright, let's do a pitch. A loop-de-loop. So we started about 32. And we finished, so we lost about 200 meters. So not horrible. Definitely not great. Oh, we're still losing. Okay, never mind. We lost more than 200. We lost almost 600 meters getting back to level. Alright, we'll do our yaw test in atmosphere. Most ships will be getting about 15 to 30. But so far it looks like larger ships are meant to turn using yaw. At least that seems to be what they want us to do. So yeah, yaw, you can come all the way around. And pretty decent rate overall. Definitely this is the most maneuverable of large ships we currently have. Again, not surprisingly. Alright, we'll come down and do a little bit low-level fun. Just to check the overall atmospheric maneuverability, which is going to be really boring at 90 meters per second. It's not like we're going to be screaming along. But overall, the Caterpillar has been consistently one of the better flying large ships. So definitely for cargo running, it's still the champ. I mean, maybe we'll see when the Hercules comes out. Maybe it'll take the prize away from the Caterpillar. But it's going to have less capacity than the Caterpillar. So the only reason it might be better is just because of better flight model. And she's still relatively sluggish, so she still flies like a large ship. But I mean, she flies more like a Constellation than she does, let's say, a Starfarer. Okay, CIG devs, stop making it be windstorms whenever I'm doing flight tests on Hurston. Please? Okay? Thank you. So throwing some afterburner here. And again, you can see it's popping up the hand minables. So whenever we get the elevators working, you could in theory load up this Caterpillar with like 1,000,001 rocks and just do a lot of mining. Have your whole crew pop out. So your afterburner burns out pretty quick. And being a large ship, you've got a lot of drift. But you can definitely still fly this pretty darn well. So long as you're judicious with your use of boost. Again, like I said, it's not going to be very entertaining. We're in a large ship. But overall, I'd say she's, you know, it's scale of 1 to 10 for a large ship. She's probably a 7 or 8, and the Carrack is right around a 6 or a 7. And the Starfarer is a 1. It's just always a 1. Seems to always be a 1. Alright, we're going to head on up, and we'll check her in space now.
Attention. Engines overheating.
And up we go to orbit. So again, the Carrack, Carrack. Can you tell I'm a Carrack fanboy? The Caterpillar is, I'm sorry about the notification about Hailstorm's new video, break in. Cool, that's free advertisement for them. Thanks, Microsoft Edge. As we're looking here at the Caterpillar, you can see it's going to be modular, so all those little sections you see there, you should in theory be able to have different modules, a med bay, a storefront in the front. But again, when we're going to get that modularity, I don't know, but eventually it's going to come. Alright, back into the cockpit. Still at 5,000 meters. I'm going to real quick close out Edge. Just so we don't get any more notifications about brand new YouTube videos. And it's still there. Go away. Thanks, Microsoft. I love how whenever you update, you make Windows less of a nice experience. Alright, so we're about 8,000 meters. We're getting pretty close to the point where we should be able to just jump. Probably Everest Harbor will be the quickest and easiest thing to get to. That's usually right above Lorville. Come on, let me click on you. You're right there. There we go. Did I get it? No. It looked like I got it there for a minute. There we go. Alright, so let's see how the good old Caterpillar does in space.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
Alright, so we'll check the max speed first. She's always been, I won't say slow, but she's definitely not as fast as a Carrack at all. We're getting pretty decent acceleration up here though. So this is without boost, obviously. So obviously you're not going to outrun a size 9 torpedo in this ship, seeing as how you need to be above 1,000 to outrun a size 9. And it looks to be about 780-ish? Yeah, you're not out. 790 max speed. Let's see what the deceleration's like without afterburner and without flip and burn. Very slow. So yeah, you definitely need to use a flip and burn technique with this ship.
Attention. Engines overheating.
We just blew right through the armistice zone. Alright, back at SCM speed. Let's check the roll in space as we get back to the other side. Alright, here's roll. Roll in space is basically, in my opinion, the same as it was in atmosphere. Maybe a little slower in space than atmosphere, which is interesting. Alright, we'll check yaw now. Again, about the same in space as atmosphere. That's very interesting. But I guess it would make sense, seeing as how the ship heavily relies on thrusters and has zero, aerodynamic surfaces. And wait till the vector catches back up. And now pitch. Yeah, she's about identical in all respects, space versus atmosphere, as far as how she flies. Which is good. I mean, that's a consistent flying for the ship. If that actually makes sense as far as the game and aerodynamic effects, I don't think so. I mean, let's take a look at our cross-section of this ship for a moment. You're a flying shoebox. How many flying shoeboxes do you see in atmosphere? Answer, none. But again, her speeds are slow. So we're just going to have to assume that the thruster tech using on this ship is able to overcome the atmospheric effects. And that what you get is, what you get. She's not going to be any better, any faster. Just kind of the same flying all around. But overall, I would say, between 3.9 and 3.10, she feels a little bit more weighty, but not much. I mean, she still handles pretty darn well, and you should be able to really, keep this thing on target for landing. Combat-wise, you're going to have a little bit better of a time fighting with it if you need to. Obviously, you could probably take on NPCs if you got stopped by, a pirate caterpillar or a pirate gladius, or pretty much any NPC you should be able to take on with the ship now solo. Especially if you use, just fly backwards and shoot at them. You got decent shields and decent weaponry now. If you get stopped by a player, you're still hosed. You're not maneuverable enough to get away from a player. They're going to be able to just sit on your tail in most ships and take you out. Might take them a while. So against a player, if you get jumped, if they're not using a size 9 torpedo with this ship, I would just calmly, reinforce shields aft, keep flying towards a jump point, spool your drive, and jump away. You're going to take some damage maybe, but you'll be fine. You'll keep your cargo load. Now if they're using torpedoes, you're dead. And missiles now also only damage one shield face, so if they're spamming missiles, they might be able to take you out. We'll go ahead and dock this old girl.
Landing gear down.
Oh, I'm so glad I requested landing and they chose not to open the doors. Open the blast doors! Open the blast doors! Yeah. See, I bet if I request landing again...
That request has already been granted.
Yep. Well... Oh, here we go. It did work. Cool. Now the question is, are we going to be able to get in here before the doors close on us? Not bad. Back up a little bit. Seriously? Am I stuck on the front? There we go.
Landing.
Mostly centered. I give that landing a 5. Alright everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I know it's relatively boring, it's a larger cargo ship. But we gotta do reviews, we gotta look at all the ships and see how they fly. If you own a Caterpillar, I think you'll be happy. The changes, again, they feel more weighty, just like the Carrack. But overall, both ships are very flyable, and you should be able to handle them just fine. Just practice some patience and plan ahead when you're coming to land, and you'll be fine. Taking off, you'll be fine. You might need some boost to lift off, but that's kind of been the same everywhere. And again, it makes sense. You're in a large ship fully loaded with cargo. You're going to need to use some afterburner to lift. That's firmly realistic in my opinion. That being said, I still think it is interesting that the Caterpillar is the only ship that actually has any kind of role at all in atmosphere. The rest of the large ships really do not. Okay, yeah, I really did park very far forward. But hey, it makes it easy to get to the elevator. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video again. And I hope everyone's staying safe, healthy. Like I said, I'm getting downgraded November 1st, so I'm sure I'll have more time in November to make a lot of videos because I'll have a good schedule with my 50% pay cut. Fun times.